Hello everybody, this is Ross. I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today and show you what I do when I am not gaming. This is obviously just one of my hobbies that I do when I'm not gaming. I have this 4x8 table downstairs, and this is our laundry room. And it's quite a mess right now, but this is basically my model train layout. It is HO scale. The entire layout is Code 83 Flex Track. And I'm actually going to buy a bunch more and completely redo this track because I didn't do the best job, but we'll get into that later. Right now I will showcase some of my rolling stock I have at the moment, and yeah, well, I won't be running it today because I have no track power, and I didn't do the greatest job laying track, so we'll just get into it. So for my engine, I've got a GP40 Dakota, Minnesota and Eastern, road number 4003, city of Northville. I actually bought the last one. We got the last one from Atlas, because this was made by Atlas. We got the last one they have, and the only person that makes DM&E, or the only company that makes DM&E locomotives anymore is Bowser, and their paint scheme is a little darker. I don't really like theirs. They're SD40s, but I just need one engine because this is a switching layout. And this is my locomotive. It is a very, very detailed DM&E locomotive, and it's actually my favorite locomotive in the world, if I say that and it doesn't sound weird. There are even crew figures in there. I don't know, there's the engineer head. He's waving at the people as he goes by. And it also has detailed cab interior. You can see all the controls for the GP40 in there. It is DCC equipped, and it actually has fans on the top, but I don't know if they work or not because I've never dealt with DCC before. This will be my first time. Well, and we'll get onto the wiring later, but actually a little bit of history on this locomotive first. My grandparents live in Brookings, and we actually used to see this locomotive go through their backyard all the time. We actually saw 4003 go through all the time, and I have a picture upstairs, but it's a pretty cool shot of it from their backyard. But then we stopped seeing it go through, and we were like, what the heck happened to it? So then, a couple years ago, I did a little research on this engine. I figured out it was involved in a fatal crash, and it was totaled. So it was the worst crash DM&E has ever had out of their, like, 3 or something. They had, like, 3 derailments or something. This was the worst. 2 fatalities. Both the engineer and the conductor did not make it, but rest in peace to them. But this is basically, that's a little bit of backstory on it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a darker side, but it's kind of cool to have it, since I've seen it multiple times in real life. And you know, its routine running was finished in 2009 when that crash happened. But before that, we saw it all the time going through Brookings, you know, serving that ethanol plant in Aurora. So it's kind of cool to have this engine. I've wanted it for a long time, and we finally found one, just out of pure luck, and we got the last one. And it is from Atlas, but I had to switch out the couplers on it. They are now Authorn couplers, because all of these cars are from Authorn, except the box cars are from Authorn Roundhouse, which is still Authorn, but I think it's just custom painting stuff. I don't know. I don't really know what Authorn Roundhouse is all about. Anyways, moving on, we spent way too much time there. I've got 2 DM&E yellow hopper cars. Let's see, this one is DM&E, wow, 51097. I'm sorry, my camera is like so blurry today. I think it's the lighting. And then my second hopper car that I have is 51039, and this one actually came a little piece, like a little step plate likes to fall off, and there's a little bit of a broken ladder on it, but it's still really cool to have these, because, you know, I see them go through all the time. And I was going to get some South Dakota soybean processor ethanol tankers, but they are long past retired. They were barely made, but they are long past retired. So I bought a 3-pack of TILX tanker cars. We've got a renewable products marketing group, TILX, and they sell these individually, but I think there's only like one road number when they sell them individually. You can only get different road numbers in the 3-pack, which it's a better deal anyways. But first we've got 199518, we've got 196099, and 196002. And then for my I actually bought a couple of DM&E boxcars, and these are the ones from Author and Roundhouse. The first one is 5312, and the second one is 5328. And that is all my rolling stock I have at the moment. These boxcars actually have the widest turning radius and actually can't fit around this inner curve, but they can fit around everything else pretty good. But everything else besides the boxcars can fit through this inner curve. But like I said, I'm going to relay the track because it's not very good. And I actually have to solder them together because I wasn't getting any power. But I was using this electrical repair solder. It is a rosin core, but it's a little thick for the job, like really thick. And I'm taking welding class now in high school, so that should help me out a little bit. And my soldering gun is actually under this pile here. I burned myself a little bit, so that wasn't really fun. I tapped myself, and all of a sudden there's a brown mark on my skin. But don't worry, I'm all good. No infections or anything. But yeah, now we'll move on to the wiring. It is all bus wired, and I understand that every 2 pieces of flex track you got to put in some bus wire, which this requires about 4 things of track power wire. There's actually one set here, right there, and there's one over there, because this is about 2 pieces here. Then there's also one on the other junction, and then a 4th one on that turnout there. And they are all actually wired on the junctions / turnouts. But it all equals to be just about 2 pieces, so naturally it should be pretty good. But the reason I don't have track power is because the joints on the tracks were not very good. Like here, that was not very good. They weren't touching on the curves and stuff, and the gaps between them were pretty wide. So it didn't turn out very well. But anyways, my power system is a Zephyr Extra 3.0 amp starter set. It is from Digitrax. It is the DCS51. It is for DCC. And like I said, it had the error that there was no track current, so that's too bad. But anyways, I'll now go over the track plan, like where stuff is going to be. Actually, I did start this layout a long time ago, but the original version was really, really crappy, and I didn't do very well on it, because, you know, I was a little kid now. But now, I kind of know what I'm doing. Sort of. I know what I'm doing now. I know what my plan is. I know how to use stuff, so we'll start it now. But anyways, over here we've got the ethanol loading track, actually, that goes back over there. And here is the grain loading track, where actually I used to have an ADM grain elevator here, but it kind of fell apart, so I had to buy a new ADM grain elevator. So that's going to go here. That's where it was the first time, too. And there's a little grade crossing that goes over here, and I actually have track bumpers, so that'll be good for this and this. And this is at ground level, so when I buy the loading platforms, it'll, I don't know, I just like it at ground level. So this is the grain loading, and there will be a road that goes this way, and there will also be one that wraps around here for ethanol and unloading grain on this side for trucks. There will be another crossing up here, and the highway actually splits this entire thing. It'll come up here, it'll take a turn here, and it'll go across the tracks, go straight through the middle of the layout, and go across them down there. And here we'll have a dirt road that kind of goes across those 2 tracks there. And we'll have, I don't know if I want another grain elevator or a cement / rock pit. I'm still figuring that out. If I can find a couple Sioux gravel cars, then I will actually put a gravel pit there. It used to be another grain elevator, but I don't know if I still want more grain. So if I do find some Sioux hopper cars or gravel cars, because Sioux actually, there's a rock pit right on the other side of the interstate, and Sioux ran it. So I thought maybe I could get some Sioux cars and put them there. But anyways, then it just wraps around and comes up on the main line here. And here we'll have a little driveway and a farm here. We'll have a cornfield over here, and it's going to be in the autumn time or fall time, so it'll be harvesting. And I found a John Deere 7720 Turbo Titan 2 that'll be right here with a tractor and a gravity wagon or something, grain bins along here. It's all a plan. I know exactly what I want to do. I just got to get the materials to do it. So yeah, that is pretty much my layout. It is actually, I haven't mentioned, it's a 4x8 basically. It's actually a little bit less. It's like 3 foot 8 inches by 8 foot or something like that. It's not quite as wide as 4 foot, but it gets the job done. It's just that inner curve that gives me a problem. But all in good time, I'll fix it, and if I do use this inner curve, I just won't put the box cars on it. So those, I was going to put one at each end of the ethanol tankers to kind of simulate, you know, they put a car in behind the engine to block, just in case there is a derailment. But yeah, that is my train layout at the moment. It is bus wired and no power yet. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you later.